2025 is a pretty big year. We've just seen the Women's Champions League final. With huge attendance, huge focus. We see also like the performance in female sport massively uplifting over the last couple of years. We have seen phenomena like the rise of the women's NBA in basketball. Looking at North America, we have seen the performance increases on the female running side when we're looking at the marathon performance.
So what we started in 21 was essentially bringing that insight forward and understanding that female movement and behaviors and product needs to really bring that in from the beginning.
Looking at a female-specific rugby boot, looking at Sport Fusion at a female-specific football boot, or a female-specific climber top that we do now for the endurance runners. This was basically impossible 20 years ago.
We're hosting a first-of-its-kind inaugural Women's Innovation Summit with a focus on team sports. And we've invited leading researchers in the space. We've invited athletes.
I am Becky Sauerbrunn. I am a recently retired soccer player.
Hey, my name is Kalia Copper. I'm a WNBA player.
My name is Jordan Poulter. I am a professional women's volleyball player.
Christina Gresta, research scientist at the University of Washington.
My name is Kat Alcom-Krieger. I work for UEFA Medical and Anti-Doping Unit.
Did you say you have a PhD in women's football boots?
In men's football boots. I was told back then that there would be no interest in women's football because there was no market.
And if we stay in our silos, you know, what's going on in the research world may or may not translate to what's going on the field or on the pitch.
There's no reason to say that what is engineered and designed for men and just scaled down to the football boot size designed for women is optimal.
To think about what could be possible for female sports if we weren't burdened by this comparative model.
While paired with doing a global survey with over 1,500 athletes.
We traveled through the different clubs, so we've been at Barcelona, Real Madrid, Olympique Lyon, FC Paris, Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea.
Asking them, you know, like, what product are you wearing? Why are you wearing it?
I picked up injuries, and it took talking to an expert supplied by Adidas, Diana, out of Germany, to realize that the boot just wasn't fitting me right. I was just in the wrong boot.
To create something that's based on data and analysis, basically her foot shape tends to be a little bit more triangular in shape, with her needing a bit more of a smaller and more catered to heel package.
I love that it's been tested by Trinity Rodman. To have someone who plays like Trin to be able to wear this boot, to really test it out, to get the okay from her, I think is going to give the okay to everybody.
So now to sit here with an actual women boot with the correct size and the correct fit is just very good.
We started in 1999 with New Zealand Rugby, and that's a pretty special relationship and partnership that we have there. They won the World Cup in 2017. We had them all come to our North American headquarters, and we body and foot scanned the entire squad.
Good everyone, Drew Heidemann here. Now we're at the Athlete Servicing Lab, about to get our 3D body scans and foot scans to make the best kit possible. Thanks, in my toe.
We looked at differences between rugby and football, but we also looked at differences just across any data points that we have.
They will go up and down a couple of times to create a 3D shape of you.
Everything that we do starts with the athlete. So in this case, we talked to the athletes. We went to rugby pitches. We really tried to understand what's the difference between a woman and a man when we look at the rugby game, but then also use data. And here we specifically looked at the feet, everything that they do in their routine, in their game, in the sport that they play, but then also look at the product side of things. We used one of those balls and we covered them in paint. We saw afterwards on the shoe, specifically, the areas that would touch the foot and the boot during any game of play. And then with that created the sweet spot that really is necessary for kicking in rugby. Obviously any relationship is built on trust, and for that to develop you need time, you need to spend time together, and we've been very, very fortunate to have that.
Going on the treadmill now.
Our model in Adidas, our innovation is only the best for the athletes. In everything we do, we always have that connection with the specific athletes for the specific sport. A female athlete is always wearing a bra, so the bra is always the first layer in contact with the body. Coming from the south of Italy, I know that heat exposure, so performing in a very hot environment, is critical not only for trail running but also for tennis, also for football. We try to find out what are the limiting factors in their performance in their sport, but also we invite them to our innovation lab where we have the possibility to really test them. We have environmental chambers where we can simulate different conditions, so we can go from very cold, very warm, very dry, very humid, simulate solar radiation as well. What was really important for our female athletes is that the product is providing the benefit that they need, in this case breast support and temperature regulation, without being a distraction. The testing camp in Fuerteventura was the moment of truth, because there they finally realized that the product was working, but they didn't feel a distraction, they didn't feel like it was in their way, they didn't feel they had to adjust it. Also, another material that allows the sweat to be transferred to the outer environment for better cooling. Female athletes need different products, they need more research, they need more attention. We have their awareness, but definitely more research is needed.
We always start the journey by trying to understand the game, trying to understand where it's heading towards. We had Arsenal women over here last summer, and all the talk with the performance staff is about load management, right? The calendar, it's across, men's and women's, but particularly women's as well. It's exploding, right? The number of games being played, it's just crazy. So all they care about is manage their load and stress and strain.
The football boot is the only tool, the only equipment that the player brings onto the pitch to improve their performance and minimize the injury risk. So it's not just a matter of looking right in the right football boot for who you are as a player. It's about wearing something that will make you better.
What we've modified is the actual fit and the outsole to be specific for her. We've also softened up the midfoot stiffness a little bit, and that's more because of a lot of conversations that we've had with our pro players.
It's such a good boot. I've been training with it, like I said, and I've not been allowed to play games in it, so when I have to put the old boots on, I'm a bit sad because I wanted to put this on.
Introducing things like a connected ball, not just into men's major tournaments, but also women's major tournaments. So definitely for sure also, I think, utilizing our opportunity to capture relevant data across men's and women's. We dare to invest, we dare to run studies specifically for her, so have like the deep biomechanics understanding, but also again listened and try to do something that's real rather than just for show.
I believe that we are sparking the future of her game, and I'm very excited to be there for it.
I'm happy for the girls that grow up today that they have this opportunity to play in the best equipment that they can.
If I see she can win without the same support that men had, gives me the feeling that she can do amazing things with more and more research and more support and more connections. Physiologically, the differences, what we need to understand is how those differences impact performance, sport, participation, winning a gold medal. So this is what yet needs to be understood.
I think with all of the research, the key thing that I've learned is there's so much more opportunity. As soon as you answer one question, a million more come up.
Yeah, I want to do more, and we're not done.
So through the connected ball, we can provide them basically with a service that is able not just to determine the number of kicks, but also things like, essentially you can also describe the quality of those kicks and passes, the impact it has, the power, which essentially is, I think, the tracking puzzle piece that has been missing for so many years.
We don't want to claim that we know it all. Our mission is to be the best sports brand. You can only be the best sports brand if you lead through innovation. And leading through innovation means leading with her.
You know I don't play right. I'll put up a good fight. Just give me the word, You know I don't play right. You know I don't play right. You know I don't. You know I don't. You know I don't. You don't. You know I don't play. You know I don't. I'll put a good fight. It's gonna get personal.